A very good and sunny morning. We are back here. It's yet another day in paradise. And here at Sodokran Court, thankfully, yesterday, the sick juror who was away, who caused the trial to be put on hold, not to sit on Tuesday. Thankfully, she was back yesterday. So just a recap. So the Bribery trial is still very much on because the jurors, they've been out since Monday of last week. And everybody, it's like that game of that game of football. You've had 90 minutes, you've had extra time, 30 minutes of extra time. It's gone into penalties. 5 kicks have been taken, 3 kicks have been taken. So it's now a sudden death. Nobody knows who's going to blink first. So that is just how it is. Yesterday, the jurors were called in. Like I said, thankfully, the juror that was sick on Tuesday, she was back at work yesterday. So the jury, they had a full day of working. As soon as they got in, they were called in just before 10:30. All the judge, the leadership asked the jury bailiff to do was take the oath. Because then, after swearing the oath, send them straight to work and say, go and get on with your deliberations because time is of essence. So straight away, they went into the jury room to continue their deliberation. And I tell you what, everybody again was hanging by the thread, as it were, because you don't know. Every time we had an announcement over the public address system, we just listening very well. Is it courtroom number 2? But of course, nothing like that happened till lunchtime. Lunchtime, one of the parties involved, of course, people went out for lunch. But again, by 2 o'clock, you're back here. Nothing happened until 10 minutes, about 9 minutes to 4, when the announcement was that again that all parties in the Alice Madreke case to come to courtroom number 2. Of course, we knew then 10 minutes to 4, it wasn't going to happen. So it took another 10 minutes for everybody to get in, for the judge to sit. And then when the jurors were called in, all that the judge did was to thank them, to say, thank you very much for your hard work today. And then she just said, before sending them away, as always, she reminded them, remember the rules. Remember the rules. Do not talk to anybody. Do not talk to yourselves. Don't research this case. Don't check it up anywhere. Your deliberations, your work will continue when all of you are back tomorrow. That is today. So 10:15. They're going to be back here. Just as I was just coming from the station, of course, I saw 2 of the parties, not the, coming, just heading to court as well. So we are back here. They're expected back here in about 30 minutes from now, 10:15. And also, but, in a jury trial like this, one day is a long time. They say in politics, one day is a very long time. Also, when the jury is out, as I've said several times, it's a long day. One day can make a whole lot of difference. We don't even want to look ahead until tomorrow because anything can happen today. They may come back today. They may have their verdict today. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Just the anxious wait in the courtroom. Anxious wait because you don't know where they are. That is really, really keeps the suspense at pitch fever because there is no clues. We were talking among ourselves, talking to people. Nobody knows exactly where they are in their deliberations until, you only get to have a clue of where they are if they bring a jury note or if they arrive at a verdict. So nobody knows. Remember, it was last week, Thursday, exactly a week ago, that they sent a jury note. They were called back for a jury note because they wanted clarification On count one, wanted to clarify the shoppings that were done, whether it was for the Harrods shopping alone they were to consider, or all the shopping done in all the other shops. So apart from that, so from last week, Thursday, it's exactly a week today. Nobody has, we have no idea where they are with the 8 count, whether they've done arrive at verdict for any of them or they are close to the end. Nobody knows. It's really a suspense that it is not exciting, especially if you're the defendant, if you're any of the defendant or their counsels, because they're just waiting. The barristers, the solicitors, they've got nothing to say in terms of this is where we are, except just, the normal reassurance, just that they just have to wait, just to reassure each other to say, look, just wait, we've done our best. Those are the sort of things. I was asking one barrister yesterday, if you were the barrister for any of the defendants, what would you be saying to them at this time? He said, we don't know where the jury is. So it's really difficult. No idea at all where they are in the deliberations. And they've got 8 counts to consider. And this is a complex case. Having said that, it's not really rocket science because they have been in this trial all through, but we don't know. So that should not be too much of a problem. But having said that, the judge has assured them, take as much time as you want, and that there is no time deadline. So I think they're just going by the letter of what the judge has said to them, that they should take as much time as they need. There's no deadline to say, like in a football match where after 90 minutes, the referee blows and you go to extra time. And if after extra time, so nothing like that in a jury. When the jury is out, you don't rush them, except they come back. Of course, somebody might blink first. If, for instance, I don't want to think of what will happen tomorrow. If for any reason there's no jury note, they might come back to say, okay, we are stuck, but we haven't got there. And I don't want us to really push us to say, let's be thinking of that. But that is one scenario. If for any reason by the end of today, they might come back to the judge and say, look, we are stuck somewhere, but they haven't, there's no indication. So we are just waiting here, just waiting. Like I said, we don't know. They might be very close. They might be wrapping up. They might be in the middle, but nobody has any idea. But you could see also from the faces of the defendant, this is just a natural thing because they're just hanging there. It's like their lives have been put on hold. It's like you've taken the examination. Now the examining body is not telling you when the result will be released. They just ask you, keep checking the board. You go there, you don't know whether the results have been released or not, so that's just the way it is with a jury trial. Specifically in this situation, the defendants are just turning up. Their teams, they're just turning up every morning. As I was came out of the station, saw one of the defendants, also saw one of the barristers, but also that is the way it is. Everybody's just coming. We don't know when the jurors will say, we are ready. And just to quickly put you through again, when they have a verdict, that will be passed to the jury bailiff. They will signify to the jury bailiff to say we have reached a verdict. And then the jury bailiff will make contact with the court clerk. The court clerk will get the judge to know. And then, of course, everybody will be called back to the courtroom. And how it happens is that the jury will then come back. When they come back to court, then the defendant will then need to stand up. The court clerk is then going to ask them that the jury, have you arrived at a decision on the count? And then they're going to say, yes, we've arrived at the verdict for count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 8. And then we then ask for count number 1, the particular defendant, the court clerk will then ask, how do you find the defendant for count number 1? And they're going to respond. And that is how it's going to be for the rest of the count. So that's, after that, after they've delivered their verdict, after they've turned in their verdict, a few minutes later, after they've read out their verdict, the judge will then discharge the jury. So that's how it's going to pan out eventually. So just giving you heads up. So anytime they reach a verdict, the judge, once the verdict have been read, within a few minutes, they don't even get to spend maybe up to 30 minutes after. The judge will thank them, and then he say, now you are discharged. So that is the time they can then go and then check up the case. They can then read about it and whatever. But apart from that, they were reminded yesterday, don't talk to each other. Don't talk to anybody else, and don't check up this story, this trial on the internet. That is why every morning when they come, they take the oath. The jury bailiff takes the oath, and the judge reminded, make sure that was done yesterday at the beginning and also at the close. The jury bailiff took the oath at the beginning and also at closing yesterday. Yesterday, 4 p.m. before we left court from morning when they came in. So today again is another day. And don't forget, one day is a long day. You never know. Before lunch, anything can happen. Before the day is over, anything can happen. So let's take it one day at a time, and then I'll see you tomorrow or later today if anything happens, if the jury blinks. I'll see you then. Enjoy your day.